As referenced earlier, John 15, verse 13, greater love has no man than this, that he lay down his life for his friends. They were each awarded the Purple Heart and Distinguished Service Cross posthumously, and in 1960, a special medal for heroism was presented to their next of kin, an award intended to have the same weight and importance as the Medal of Honor. At this time, a candle will be lit for each of the four chaplains by these four chaplains here today. Honoring Alexander D. Good is Chaplain Robert Berry with the American Legion. Honoring George L. Fox is Chaplain Courtney Motcher with the Disabled American Veterans. Honoring Clark V. Poling is Chaplain John Sawyer with the Veterans of Foreign Wars. And honoring John P. Washington is Chaplain Roger Clements with the Marine Corps League.
I like this candle in the memory of Chaplain Alexander D. Good. Growing up in Washington, D.C., Alexander Good was an outstanding athlete and scholar. Following in his father's footsteps, this young man, known for his laughter and love of life, became a rabbi. Even as he pursued his studies, he found time to serve in the National Guard. The return of the body of the unknown soldier to Arlington National Cemetery had a profound effect on Good. He attended the ceremony, choosing to walk the 15 miles that were 15 miles back rather than take a car or a bus. He thought it showed more respect. Good married his childhood sweetheart, and they had a daughter. He was serving a synagogue in York, Pennsylvania, when World War II broke out. One day, Ms. Good received a telegram from her husband that read, "Having a wonderful experience," and she knew that her husband had found a companion with whom he could share his faith and his good humor.
I light a candle in the memory of Chaplain George L. Fox. George Fox was the oldest of the four chaplains in Vermont. He was called the Little Minister because he was 5'7". Lying about his age in 1917, he enlisted in the Army as a medical corps assistant. He received the Silver Star for rescuing a wounded soldier from a battlefield with poison gas, although he wore no mask himself, and the Croix de Guerre for outstanding bravery in an artillery barrage that left him with a broken spine. After the war, he became a successful accountant. He was happily married with 2 children when he heard God's call to the ministry. Fox went back to school and later was ordained as a Methodist minister. When war came, he once again enlisted, telling his wife, "I got to go. I know from experience what our boys are about to face. They need me." Before I boarded the Dorchester, he wrote a letter to his daughter. "I want you to know," he wrote, "how proud I am of your marks in school are so high. But always remember that kindness and charity and courtesy are much more important."
I light this candle in memory of Chaplain Clark V. Poling. Clark Poling was the youngest of the four chaplains and the seventh generation in an unbroken line of ministers in the Dutch Reformed Church. When World War II broke out, he was anxious to go, but not as a chaplain. "I'm not going to hide behind the church in some safe office out of the firing line," he told his father. The elder Poling replied, "Don't you know that chaplains have the highest mortality rate of all? As a chaplain, you'll have the best chance in the world to be killed. You just can't carry a gun to kill anyone yourself." So the young man left his pastorate in Schenectady, New York, and became an Army chaplain. Just before he sailed, Poling asked his father to pray for him. "Not for my safe return, that wouldn't be fair. Just pray that I shall do my duty and have the strength, courage, and understanding of men. Just pray that I shall be adequate." Indeed, he taught his men not to harbor personal hatred for the Germans and the Japanese. "Hate the system that made your brother evil," he said. "It is the system we must destroy."
I light this candle in memory of Chaplain John P. Washington. John Washington grew up in the toughest section of Newark, New Jersey, poor, scrappy, and determined. One of 9 children born to an Irish immigrant family, he was blessed with a sunny disposition and a love for music. He also loved a good fight and was a member of the South 12th Street Gang when he was called to the priesthood. He played ball with the boys of the parish, organized sports teams, and when the war broke out, went with his boys into the Army. Raised in song and prayer to comfort those around him, Washington's beautiful voice could be heard above the cries of the dying in his final moments on February 3rd, 1943.